Hi. So I've been thinking if I should make a video or stream, and I thought, what the hell, I'm gonna make a few videos and then see if I am still in the mood to stream. So first question is by the Andromedan. He's asking, Aquila, is it true that we come here from another universe? And if yes, why did we come here? So two parts. Did we come here from another universe? And why, if we did? In my opinion, and I might be completely wrong, yes, we totally have come here from another universe. Basically, think of a consciousness. It is a point of view, able to see, feel, and perceive absolutely anything. With all those perceptions, consciousness can simply go like, huh, well, I might want to create something. And just like that, it starts creating. Colors, stars, people, planets, all the stuff. My sort of like look at this could be this thing called OpenAI. Some of you might have been watching Dota 2 tournaments, and with Elon Musk's help, he has developed OpenAI. This OpenAI in Dota is basically like artificial intelligence, but in the game, it started with this AI is doing absolutely nothing. It's in the game, but it's not moving, not doing anything. And it took it a few weeks to understand, like, oh, if I don't get out of the base to engage in combat, this thing will die and it's going to be a loss. So then it learned that it needs to get out of the base and start doing something. Like, oh, I can actually get out. I can do something. Oh, I can buy an item. And just like that, same with consciousness, we're like, I wonder if. And then we start doing. So with all the creation going here and there and creating worlds and planets, it's like creating a video game. Yeah, you did it. But then you want to play the game that you have created. See how good it is. If there's anything that needs to be changed, added, removed, and you go and begin the game and play it up, and that's fun and that's great. And then you go like, okay, this game was fun. Next, and we create billions of planets and worlds and realms, and then we're like, oh look, there are other beings out there. Let's go create things together. And as we're creating, the whole people, like the whole multiverse, is filled up with beings like us. And some of them are into creating. Some of them got bored of creating, so they're more like, hey, let's go destroy stuff. It's more like some people have fun building a snowman. Others just love kicking it and destroying it and like hitting it, and it's like yeah, that was fun. So like some people were like, hey, look, I built like a snowball, catch. And others were like, haha, motherfucker. And like, they're just gonna throw at you know. So with all that, consciousness is willing to create, to destroy, and do all those things. And so the game goes on many levels. It's not just the third, fourth, fifth dimension. It can be dimensioned a billion times more. The whole thing with dimensions and realms, I see it as simply changing the radio channel. Frequencies. You're listening to the channel called 104 and you're like, oh, this is good music. And then you go to like from 104.003, 104.007, and you just keep on going, and the whole thing is infinite. There are infinite possibilities of how you can choose the frequency and the channels that you can find. And so, from my perception, we have traveled and experienced billions of lives. And each and every one of you, with a little bit of help with various techniques, you can recall the past lives that you have had, and you will remember the different technologies, different people, different speeches that you have been with and you have been yourself. And with all that, you're like, oh, I just have this greater knowledge. I know so much more. And personally, without hypnosis, without someone else telling you the story, you yourself can get all the knowledge and the answers within. And so we go from various dimensions and just like, why do we come here on the third one? If everything's so nice and shiny and wonderful out there, why are we here? And a game is. The game is basically told by people. For example, you're out there in the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, seventh, eighth, whatever place you might be at. And you're like doing your thing. You might be creating, you might be on the beach, you might be smoking your cigar or flying in the middle of the space, like, ooh, that was fun. Walking on the rainbows, being the color or anything, because there are billions of possibilities of what you can do. It's kind of like limitless. And with all that, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to be a worker. I'm going to go help out some people. A lot of us are actually out there being the healers, being the warriors, we're the creators, engineers, architects. And we have our own missions. We have like a game we like to play, a role we like to use, and we just go on that and just like have fun. It's engaging. It's like you have a story, you're fulfilling yourself, it feels like great. But with all that, you're more like, oh, well, I just heard the news that there are a lot of being suppressed, that they need help and there's no one out there for them. And hey, like someone might come up to you, say, like, this is the horrible story, like, hey, people on Earth are trapped, they need your help, and you're the only one that can do it. And the thing with you is like, you might be advanced, you might have a lot of knowledge, but naturally, most beings are good. They're kind hearted. And as these kind-hearted beings, we're more like, how can I help? What can I do for you? We're into service of others. And with all that, it's more like someone just has to tell us a story and tell us like, hey, you're the only one that can do this. Please, please, please help. And some people will beg for help. Some people will always like, give me a freebie, give me that and that and that. And they're just gonna spin stories to get something out of you. And you're like, okay, I'll do it. And then you decide to come here. You decide to join the battle, to do whatever you heard about. And some people come here willingly. Some people are like, hey, I want to explore this place. I feel like I can help. I feel like I can teach people. And so some of us are explorers. We have different goals. And like, why do we come here is for each and every one of you to answer. Like, I'm not going to tell you, oh, you're here because you have to save Earth. Not necessarily. You might have come here against your own will. There are plenty of times where we are being deceived, where someone tells us a story to get us trapped, because I view each and every one of us as powerful beings. You have great abilities, and that is your imagination. It's believing in yourself, it is using your visuals, your thoughts to create. And a lot of beings out there have lost this ability because they have agreed to the rules they're playing and limited themselves. Because they can no longer create, beings like you and me who have visuals, who are creative, who have this God particle within, you're like, huh, well, you think of an apple in your hand and you manifest it. You think of a planet or your dream world, or you fantasize about the better world, or this like girl or a guy you want to be with, and you see it. You create that reality. And that place is already out there because you visualize it, you thought about it. And so it is that easy for us to create. But for other beings, it's not. And it's kind of like each thought we have, we create that world, and it's out there right now. Each little fantasy you've ever had, whether it was sexy and kinky or something dreamy and relaxing or meditative or something like, oh, I'm just going to save some beings and put them in a nice little realm. Everything you've ever visualized, fantasized about, thought of is out there existing. And because of that, because of their like billions of realms, and it's kind of like there's an infinite of numbers of how they're meant, like how many there are. Because you can, like, let's say, have 100,000 thoughts a day, but it's just you. But then there's like 7 billion people here constantly thinking of a better world, of like what could be, what if, what if, what if. And all those what ifs create the reality. And some people will manifest a lot of dark worlds, a lot of like, let's say, a person is going through a lot of suppression. They're like, oh, I'm being messed with by the entities. I'm going like through this and that and that. And then they focus on it even more and they start creating those worlds. And boom, 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 they create more realities, overlaying themselves with even more things that stop them and suppress them and make it harder. Others are like, and you relax and you think of yourself in that perfect, like, a place with mountains and woods and like water stream going down, and you see like, oh, look, animals over there, and it's relaxing. It's like perfect place for you to be at, and it's like that makes you feel more energized, makes you feel more relaxed, and you create that place. There's like that. And so because there are no limits, beings like you and me are freaking dangerous, because for those that are, let's say, limited and cannot create things like we do, they're more like, oh, well, there's a place we can harvest, there's a place we can do. But the way we can create things, the same way we can destroy. The same way we can destroy one being, one spaceship, a fleet, 50,000 spaceships, a whole planet, and it doesn't matter. Like, there is no limit to your powers or your abilities and what you can do. And because of that, other beings see you as a threat. They know that if you get out of body, or if you start working on yourself and your life becomes really good, you'll make a massive impact in the world. We're out there in the multiverse. And my doggy is coming here to tell you hello, people. Hello, he's creating a wonderful world too. Hi. Mm. So there, you get to see my puppy, and we're coming back to another place. So, with all of your abilities, it's like you're becoming a massive target because knowing how easily you can create and destroy, you're a threat. And so, the best way to trap a being is to make them believe that they are limited. And so putting them in a place where you kind of have to agree to this reality. You come here and like, oh, well, in the world there's such physics. And yeah, we have to agree to the system to live here. We have to use money and other stuff and likely stuff. So we agree to limits of the society, to limits of what people are like. Like, oh, well, people cannot fly. Telepathy is not a thing. People cannot see ghosts and all this stuff. And we sort of like put label after label, limit after limit into what we are. And now we're limited. But at the same time, it's like a lot of those thoughts are now coming from our parties and they're just like trying to control us, like redirect our attention and sort of like now they have trapped a powerful being. And it's not necessarily all, let's say, a prison planet. This planet itself, Earth, is not a really bad place. But beings that have taken over it and are actually having their own agendas to control things and take over people, they're the bad ones. So the planet itself would not be the prison planet if it was not overtaken. And like there's a lot to go on about it. But like hopefully it's sort of like I answered the question like if we come here from other universes and why? I think like why? Each and every one of you can find for yourself if you just ask the question. But at the same time, just think of yourself like, hey, you are powerful. You're wonderful. You're a strong being. You have a great visualization. You have awesome thinking. And whatever you think of, you can manifest and create. So, all of those thoughts, your abilities to think and think of a better world and the future for yourself, you can do all of that. Because of these abilities, you might be a threat to others, which is why you will see some, let's say, hardships in your life. And think of those as challenges. As someone who does not want to get you better. And you just have to fight for yourself with a little bit of help from your friends, hopefully. And with that, you're going to get better and you're going to beat all the challenges and you're going to get what you want. So there's that. You're a powerful being. You can do absolutely anything you want. So work on yourself. All the questions that you ask, you can find all the questions with like all the questions and answers within. So hopefully this video helps you at least a little bit. And yeah, I'll be making more stuff soon. So thanks for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.